Hello, this has been one of those weeks where if I would have stopped trading after the first trading day of the week, which was Monday for me, then the weekly output would have been better than what it eventually turned out to be. Nevertheless, there are a lot of lessons to be learned from this week. So let's get straight into it. So here we are. Obviously, as I did the past weeks, I'll just outline what trades I took and what was good, what was bad. There were a lot of suboptimal things that I did this week. Obviously, I will show the Excel at the end, and we'll drag some conclusions on what I can do better from here on. And so let's get onto it. So at the start of last week, I have noticed that there was a big move on overnight Monday, taking the weekend price action high and then the low. And then after this, I thought that this would be a volatile week where there will be a lot of opportunities. And to be honest, I wasn't wrong at all. We had a 10k move. That's a pretty big week, non-ironically. So I will always outline the Bitcoin trades, and I have taken probably too many trades this week, around 26. That's not too good in my opinion, and I think that after I've noticed that my trend of taking more trades is more apparent, the mental capital is kind of taking a beating. I think I will get back to trading less, trading more Bitcoin than everything else. But I will also show that at the end, and why I think that trading probably only Bitcoin and keeping myself out of altcoin trades is it's a better idea, especially for the mental capital part, and for the I think there's more to just trading Bitcoin. You can just focus better, and the trades can be managed way better, in my opinion. So the first trade that I took last week was actually based on the fact that the Monday New York session did not take the overnight low from Monday, and I thought at this point that this would be kind of bullish and that we could probably see higher here. I started with the idea that the overnight high from Monday might be a good stop loss, a good stop loss point, but unfortunately, as you can see, after it wasn't necessarily the case. I didn't really believe in another all-time high. I took that into consideration after some point, but it is still with this volume and with this movement that is kind of slow. Honestly, I still think there will be a reversal, and unfortunately, if there will be indeed a reversal, it will be a very, very fast and aggressive one, because there are a lot of trapped traders right now. And so, the first trade, let's see, it was at 102.511, something like this. This was the first entry on Monday, and so there would have been another 2 compounds on this trade at let's see, 103.327, and then at 606, right? So I had 2 compounds, one here and one here. So it was a pretty good trade. Obviously, I was kind of targeting closer to overnight high, but I stopped it at around, okay, first part of the trade I took out here, and the other part of the trade I took out around here, because I think I've seen a 0.75 from the overnight high to the overnight low, and this was pretty good, right? This was a good profit, a pretty good profit, actually a very good profit, which landed me close to 3.5% win on Monday. Also taking consideration Ethereum and Solana, that was really good. So this was a really good day. Obviously, as I said in the beginning, if I would have stopped here, then we would have had literally a very good week. Way better, I mean, not way better, but for sure mental wise and mental capital wise, way better than what it turned out to be. Nevertheless, what I did after is just I think it was during midnight almost, so sometime around here I took a short because I thought it would be good to have it on the 0.75 and that we wouldn't breach the overnight high. Took this short, and let's see when I closed it. Okay, so I closed it pretty soon because I've noticed that the day is kind of over, and the fact that we're not seeing any aggressive move made me think that it's not worth to keep this trade. So I closed it here at a very small profit. So one day was good, 3.3% win. Then on Tuesday, what I did was I tried to long again. Let me see. So this was 1751, so around here. I tried longing again, but what I did here is I kind of killed the trade before it went for the bigger move, right? 1751 should be around here. I actually had almost the low on, ironically. This was a really good trade once more, but unfortunately the PA didn't seem good for me at some point, and I was still expecting this high not to be taken, right? So at this point I even compounded the trade around here, but then unfortunately I just went out of the trade because I just didn't believe in it anymore, right? So I just went out of the trade around here right before it moved onwards over the overnight high from Monday. That was a bit unfortunate. You can't really do much to that, and the worst part is that when I've seen that it was going so fast, so high, I thought that it would be another retest of the 0.7, 0.75, and that it would be a good short, which obviously it wasn't the case. There was a view up around here as well, and so I took the short from here with the idea that we would go lower and that we wouldn't take this high, right? So I thought we wouldn't take this high, we're not going to all-time high and so on. It's obviously not a bad idea. It's obviously a decent trade. It just wasn't to be, right? So I lost this trade. It just went to the stop loss around here, and that was pretty much it. And it was a losing day, which is not completely bad. Then what happened on Wednesday is that, let's see what I did. I had quite a few trades. The first one was a short on 108. Let me see. So this was 1750. 1750. This would mean somewhere around here, right? Yeah, somewhere around here. Well, yeah. So here is what happened. I thought that after we're going over this overnight high, let's make it smaller. Over this overnight high here, we would go lower, right? The problem is we went very close to my stop loss. So my stop loss was the all-time high, right? The all-time high was here. You can see it with this purple line. So my stop was around here. We'll make it a bit smaller. Well, my stop was around here. It didn't take my stop, but it was very close. It taxed me very hard on the mental, and so now I kind of experienced cognitive dissonance where I was both short and long biased. Obviously, if you can check it in hindsight, it was always longs until over the all-time high, but you can't know that, right? So that's why you're a trader. You can't know that. What happened is that I kind of won money on Solana and Ethereum on these shorts because this was a fast move to the downside, right? Then the next thing that I did was taking a long when I've seen that the drop was very big and very fast. So I took a long at around here. So I took a long around here. This was actually a pretty good long, right? I took a long around here. Let me have this. So I took a long around here. Then unfortunately I closed it very soon. I took a long on Ethereum, on Solana, and on Bitcoin again. I closed it very soon because it kind of didn't move as I wanted, and nightcap mood came and I wasn't completely sure if I wanted to keep this trade, and so I literally closed it right before it pumped once more. Now a lot of these moves are happening on the overnight range or before the overnight range. I can't really trade this, okay? These are not my trading hours. If this happens outside of my trading hours, I do keep overnight trades from time to time, but not very often, and this is not in my plan, this is not in my psychology, and that's fine, okay? It is what it is. I can't work towards that, right? Yes, I lost a big move. Yes, I lost a lot of money, but or potential money, but this is not how you should think. This was outside my trading idea, this was outside my trading hours, and it's absolutely fine, right? But the problem is on Tuesday I had a very bad day. So on Tuesday I started shorting, right? So what I thought on Tuesday is that we would have a breakdown without touching the overnight high of Tuesday, and we would have a breakdown of a failed auction type, right? Now unfortunately this didn't happen, so I started losing, and I kind of took a lot of trades as well, right? So what I did is I took one trade around here, one of the trades was taken around here, one of the shorts. Then this obviously went outside of my stop loss, which was over the overnight high. Then I took another short, which was around here once more. But unfortunately what I did after seeing this PA, I've put my stop above the highs, but I've seen it was moving so slow that I thought it would just go higher for at least a bit, and I just closed it manually. But unfortunately it went lower again, so this was a very unfortunate week on this side of the note. And then what I did was I've noticed that there might still be a small move to the upside, and I took another long from here after closing that short, but with the smaller entry, right? So I said, okay, I'll take this long from here, and with the stop loss under the overnight low from Thursday, and I said, okay, if this happens, we would go much lower, right? But if this doesn't happen, which basically didn't happen until we will discuss about this as well, then we have probably the older all-time high as support, right? So what I expected is, okay, if we go lower at this, we will do this and then go higher, which didn't happen obviously. And so I was left with the literal conclusion that I was in a small win here. This didn't matter too much, obviously. I also took a long on injective based on a failed auction idea, and I compounded it, and I lost a lot on it, like 1.6%. And so this was unfortunate, to be honest. This is why I'm saying it was an unfortunate week. It's also paired with my impatience, also an unlucky week, but I could have waited for this retest here on Friday, right? If I wanted to have a failed auction type of trade, I could have just waited for this retest of this all-time high here and take this trade, this short, right? And it would have been way better. But basically Thursday turned out to be a -3% day, and so I was kind of not in a good spot right now. Then I had two more trades. Obviously what happened is I had a lot of trades taken here, and I didn't expect this to happen, where before New York session I would have so much of a move down. I'm not gonna say for no particular reason. Obviously everything is unknown in markets, and you just basically take guesses and have your risk management. So I kind of lost a lot on Thursday, and then I started to long on 16 o'clock. When is that? Okay, so what I did after seeing that this big move to the downside, I said, okay, we might retest the older all-time high. So what I did is I've taken a long from here. Obviously my invalidation would have been around here, or around the overnight low from Wednesday, because this was a pretty big one, right? We had this big move to the downside, but it barely broke the overnight low from Wednesday. And then what I did was I took the Bitcoin long from here, and I took it to, let's see, so I took it, obviously I didn't close it at the top, because I thought at this point I thought it would go a bit higher. I took two compounds. I took a compound around here, let me see, I took a compound around here and a compound around here. Unfortunately I didn't keep the trade. I mean, fortunately I didn't keep the trade, but obviously I closed it around, I think it was around here, right? So I closed it around here. But at this point I thought, okay, we might actually see the failed auction, and I started shorting now. So what I did, this is why I'm saying that after a big winning day on Monday, I kind of got a bit of a cognitive dissonance. This was a good trading day. Like non-ironically, I had a push to the upside that I took a long on, and I had a push to the downside that I took a short on. What happened here is I took a short from here. I took a short from here, right? And I thought about the failed auction short idea, but what I did, it was pretty aggressive. I also compounded this short around here, so this made it pretty bad because it went all the way back up, right? And then it went back down. But the problem is it was so close to the weekend price action that I just closed the trade again once more, because I am not trading. Very rarely am I trading the weekend price action, okay? And I wasn't going to keep it on the overnight inventory. So what I did is I kind of closed it around here. Yeah, so this was also a winning trade. This was good. So Friday was a 2% win day. This was pretty fine. But now let's see where we are today, before we actually go to the Excel and we see exactly what I wanted to present and the lessons learned for this week. So this week we already started with the weekend price action, ranging from almost close to the former all-time high to the bottom of Friday, which is pretty good. I actually thought about taking a trade here on Sunday, but I just didn't do it because I didn't think it's a good idea, right? Let's see if we have a no, we don't. I mean, yeah, we don't have a CME gap, which is pretty good. Yeah, we don't have a CME gap. That's not necessarily a problem, right? So now what are we expecting today? We're expecting, I mean, let's see if the failed auction will continue, right? Let's see if we will have a sharp breakdown from here, or if we will just continue to the upside, right? But how can I know this? So what I will wait for is either a move from the overnight high, right? And then we just do something like this and go to the downside, or maybe what will happen is just we will break to the downside and then we will retest the overnight range and then we will move lower, right? But obviously the overnight range from Monday already took the highs. It wasn't the big one, it was around 2k, not even, it was around 1.7k range of the overnight range. And then, to be honest, this week I'm not expecting it to be extremely volatile, but you may never know. The weekend PA was pretty big, obviously, and so what I'm looking for right now is either we're breaking to the downside to the POC of the range around 103k. This is still an important level here at 102k that wasn't really taken, and this is so this is really good still. We still have a market structure around here. Obviously we can start breaking down, and it will not look pretty if we start breaking down, because there is not much support until like 100k. 97k is really important, and have this weekly value, this weekly high volume node here. So there's a lot on the downside. On the upside we just have another push over the all-time high, which can happen. So this is pretty much what I did last week. This is pretty much what I'm thinking of this week, where I will just trade like, hopefully I won't get cognitive dissonance anymore, and I'll take less Bitcoin trades. So let's see now the Excel, right? So what I wanted to see here is, okay, 3.3% on day, good. Then we had some plus on Wednesday, minus on Tuesday, kind of negated each other. Had a big losing day on Thursday because of the failed auction idea on the injective trade, which was minus 1.6%, and all the trades that I kind of failed to take the full profit on. Then we had this decent day on Friday, right? That was kind of saving the whole week. So now we took 26 trades. This is a pretty big number, okay? This is a pretty big number. I'm trying to probably take less trades this week. Then average loss minus 36 and average win plus 52. This is pretty good. I'm okay with this. This is fine for me. Biggest win and second biggest win are obviously higher than the biggest loss and second biggest loss. What I actually tried and what I checked is that if I would have taken all the altcoins off, I would have had around 180 profit instead of 219. So that's like 0.3, 0.4%. That's what I calculated on. Now, what I am trying to get to is that mental capital that you are saving through not losing a lot of money on, for example, on the injective trade, right? Or for not losing a lot of money on the I mean, you could win money on the altcoins, but you could also lose it, right? There's a lot of taking more trades and having more mental capital depleted by checking more trades and actively trade managing more trades actually probably takes from your profitability on your bigger coin, which is Bitcoin. Now, I'm actually probably going to try to trade Bitcoin more exclusively, even though, I mean, now that I think of, would have I had better trades on Bitcoin if I had more mental capital at my expense in order to trade it properly, right? I'm not saying I didn't trade properly, but maybe I would have had a better trade management on some positions that I didn't take to their full extent, right? I would have had a better output for last week. So I really have to think about it in that sense. But now, since we are on a new week, let's just see what we can learn from the last week. So first of all, as I said, taking more trades rather than London. Obviously, this is a recurring thing where I usually take some trades before New York or after. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I have to keep it in check. Then taking what I did on week 3 is risking altcoins way faster and not expect bigger profits. Obviously, I could say it should be minimal only when BTC bias is strong. So this is something that I experienced this week, where on week 3 I said exclusively that I should take less trades on altcoins, and I should have probably my most trades taken on Bitcoin. I really felt it on my skin that the mental capital was depleting way faster. So this is something that is recurring. This is something that I have to resolve. That's it, nothing else, and I will resolve it. So taking most of my trades on BTC, basically having more trades on New York session. What can I do better this week? These are the two main points, to be honest, but let's say trade more conservatively, give bigger win days. So I've noticed that after having a big win day on Monday, I kind of got cognitive dissonance where I was taking too many both longs and short trades. I think I should stick to one side of the market most of the times. That's one thing. And the second thing is, okay, I had a big win on Monday. Just relax a bit for the rest of the week, right? Surely trade properly. Don't like have lower position or anything else, but don't be like, oh, I have to trade every single time I trade Bitcoin, I have to trade the other coins as well. No, just take it a bit easier, right? It would help your mental, and that's great, right? So conserve mental capital. That's really important. I'll do it like this. Also, I think it would help me to be less time in a trade and wait for PA to develop, right? Multi-high, failed option, type of trade. Because here, if I would have been less time in a trade and I've just waited for the PA to develop, then the all-time high type of trade where I just wait for the failed auction would have, 1, not depleted my mental capital, 2, I would have had cleaner wins and way less losses, and 3, I would have just not taking many trades and I wasn't going to be like, I mean, I didn't have the best plan when I was taking the Bitcoin shorts after it broke the all-time high, right? So just wait for your setup, just don't bother that much, because you're in the unknown pretty much. Even though I had a big bias that the volume isn't strong, and I had a big bias that most of the moves from 70-80k have been on the overnight inventory and not in New York session, I can't just take trades for the sake of taking trades, right? So keep your biases to a minimum. Just trade based on section timings and the overnight ranges chart, right? So take your biases to the minimum. That would be way better way to move forward. Obviously, I'm trying to do that actively, but keep your biases to the minimum. Just say, okay, maybe I think it's going to the upside, maybe I think it's going to the downside. That's not much of an issue. Just wait for something on the chart to show you that there's the way, or there's a way to trade it. Have your risk management properly set, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so week 4 was pretty good, plus 2.2%. We are now at around close to 4% profit. We're starting a new week, and last week was pretty fine. It took a toll on my mental capital, but this week I'm trying to have it resolved, and I'm trying to be more careful on how many trades I take. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's see if I can have it set properly, and I guess I will see you next week. Take care.